Classic Hollywood dazzled the world with its glamour, unforgettable stars, and legendary films, but beneath the sparkling surface, there was a darker side. While these actors were adored by fans and praised for their talent, their off-screen behavior left much to be desired. These weren't just difficult co-stars, some were outright tyrants. Let's pull back the curtain on the 10 biggest jerks in classic Hollywood and wait until you see who tops the list. Joan Crawford had a reputation that extended far beyond her incredible film career. Behind her polished image was a woman fiercely protective of her fame and legacy. Known for being cold, demanding, and manipulative, she reportedly terrorized her children and often undermined her co-stars to stay in the spotlight. Her infamous feud with Bette Davis wasn't just for the tabloids, it was a war that played out both on and off screen. Now, speaking of Bette Davis, she wasn't exactly easy to work with either. While her talent was undeniable, Davis was also known for being combative, opinionated, and brutally honest. She regularly clashed with directors, co-stars, and studio heads, and she made no apologies for it. Her refusal to play nice made her a legend, but also a nightmare for many behind the scenes. Next up is Marlon Brando, whose acting genius revolutionized Hollywood. But working with him? That was another story. Brando could be moody, dismissive, and uncooperative. Directors often had to bend over backward just to get a performance out of him. Some admired his raw talent, while others couldn't stand his massive ego and lack of professionalism. Frank Sinatra may have crooned love songs and melted hearts, but his temper was the stuff of legend. He was notorious for holding grudges, picking fights, and using his influence to get revenge on anyone who crossed him. Some even believed he had mob connections, and stories about his intimidation tactics still send chills down Hollywood's spine. Orson Wells was a visionary filmmaker, there's no doubt about that. But his ego was as massive as his talent. After the success of Citizen Kane, Wells became increasingly difficult to work with. He demanded complete control on set, dismissed feedback, and alienated nearly everyone around him. His ambition may have been groundbreaking, but his arrogance burned more bridges than it built. Then there was Katharine Hepburn. She defied the norms of the studio system and refused to be boxed in. While that kind of independence is admirable, Hepburn's attitude often came across as elitist and dismissive. She had no patience for rules or authority and wasn't afraid to let people know she thought she was better than the system or them. Jerry Lewis brought joy and laughter to millions, but off camera, it was a different story. Known for being obsessive and perfectionistic, Lewis often treated his crew and even his longtime partner Dean Martin with disdain. Their eventual split was a bitter one, and Lewis later admitted that his behavior played a huge role in destroying one of Hollywood's most beloved duos. Alfred Hitchcock, hailed as the master of suspense, had a sinister reputation when it came to his treatment of actresses. His fixation on blondes was well known, but so was his cruelty. Tippi Hedren described feeling trapped and tormented by Hitchcock during filming, with his controlling behavior crossing many disturbing lines. Errol Flynn had the charm of a dashing hero, but his off-screen life was a whirlwind of scandal, excess, and reckless behavior. He was often in legal trouble, partied endlessly, and seemed to leave chaos in his wake. While audiences saw the suave leading man, those close to him saw a man spiraling out of control. And finally, Bing Crosby. Perhaps the most shocking on this list, Crosby cultivated a wholesome image as America's favorite crooner. But behind closed doors, his children painted a much darker picture, one of emotional distance, harsh discipline, and a cold, demanding father. The contrast between his public and private persona stunned fans when the truth came out. These classic Hollywood stars may have left behind unforgettable legacies, but their behavior reminds us that fame doesn't always bring out the best in people. For every glamorous photo op, there was often a bitter feud, bruised ego, or heartbroken colleague behind the scenes. Their stories are proof that even legends can be difficult, sometimes downright unbearable to work with. And that's something Hollywood just couldn't hide forever.